Oh, okay, Tom. What are your thoughts on your current quarterback? Okay,
Yeah,
hating children. Why does your quarterback hate children?
I'm just disappointed that it was an interception and he didn't hit him in the face.
Oh, baby.
We here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Wednesday. And look at that. We even got breaking news right before we go live with Derek Carr. So that was very nice of the NFL to give us some morsels. And here you go. We'll talk about that. But we're here with another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. And this is GP. Yes.
Booyakasha. All right, Tom. Before we get into the real stuff, we got Dan Snyder. He's going not only down, he's going to hell, but he's also going to lose his football team. More on this Tom Brady Dolphins thing.
So strange.
It's just getting weirder and weirder. But now, oh man, when I see a clip that I just love, I get excited about it. And Aaron Rodgers he throws an interception at a charity flag football event with kids, an event which raised like over $300,000, by the way. A kid picks him off, just intercepts him, red zone pick. So it's
in really the end zone.
Yeah. And this is a rare instance where, one, this makes me like Aaron Rodgers more. He's back on my hip list.
Cool.
And this kid, oh my God, this kid is legendary. You pick off Aaron Rodgers and then you talk trash to him by giving him the ball back. I just want to play the clip.
Yep.
It's everywhere. It brings me joy. Rodgers just throwing the football at his feet.
Yeah, he zipped it too. He's just like, I hope it clips your Achilles. It's like, you'll never pick me off again. Good. Like, he's gonna like invite that kid to like wide receiver tryouts. He's like, cover this wide receiver, see if you can do it again. And he's just gonna rip him at like 65 miles an hour and just be like, you know what? This is how we're gonna play. He's like, try to pick it off again. He's like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I think that clip will live here on GPS and will become part of the arsenal.
Done.
It is Angry Rodgers throws football at kid. A lot of people are comparing it to Peyton Manning's SNL skit, but like the real life version of it. So yeah, it made me happy. Like
the big question now is like, is this signs of Aaron Rodgers declining? Just got a major contract, already throwing red zone interceptions as a guy who is usually really careful about turning the ball over. This is just something that, Florio, I think, would bring up for Packers fans to have to worry about.
Yeah, 100%. I think Florio is actually the one defending Rodgers on this. I just want to know, was Rodgers upset about the pick or that the kid rubbed it in his face? Probably a combo of both, but if we ever get a chance to talk to Rodgers, that's the question I'm going to ask. Like,
I just want to see Rodgers come out now in every charity football event and just rocketing that ball. He's like, either the receiver's catching it or it's breaking hands, and there's no in between.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I thought of you yesterday because speaking about this topic, because Benkert was saying when he was throwing the ball, like it was coming out like 58 miles an hour. And I looked at Benkert had a couple miles an hour. He threw 56 at the combine. So that got me thinking, because I remember the stories of Brett Favre, who would throw so hard it would break guys' fingers. And I was like, who threw the hardest? And it was John Elway. that they had to like do the jug machines at like 70, 80 miles an hour to get receivers used to John Elway throwing the ball. And I was like, damn, Elway was pelting people.
Yeah, that's oh man. Let me see here. I think on one of these videos I have these old like tapes of Elway. This is his greatest comebacks. Amazing. But it's one of these VHSs where they have like that clip of like John Elway threw the ball so hard that guys had to practice with those machines, and like they just have like, you know, a montage of the guys like doing it and making those catches. The trick though, for quarterbacks is knowing when to throw it that hard, because you've seen guys, oh man, I'm trying to think, like when a touch pass is needed and they just rocket it in there and it's incomplete. And I think Elway was probably decent at that. I feel like Cutler threw it pretty hard as well, and there were like some issues with that. But what I want to know from Kurt Benkert, next time you talk to him, does he think he can throw harder than Aaron Rodgers? Did you ask him that when you guys were playing ball?
I mean, like, again, his combine's impressive. I think like he's listed at 56, Benkert. I didn't see what Rodgers was listed at, but like that Benkert was telling me like in college, that's all he did because he didn't like have the touch. He just rocketed in there. So there was, it's funny from that clip, his old QB coach, I think, retweeted saying like, I used to hate catching passes from you. Because like Benkert can throw it. Like he has steam on. And again, you hear the ball coming. Like it's a terrifying sound of just like that. It's from a football. I'm like, okay, that's a thing. I don't know. Can he throw harder than Rodgers? Because Rodgers can throw it pretty hard. But I mean, I grew up with Favre, like, and they're saying like Favre could throw like 63, which is wild.
Yeah, so, Elway had one of the strongest arms of all time. I would like to. That's why they need to bring back the deep throw contest at the Pro Bowl.
Pro Bowl, yes.
Like watching the quarterbacks just launch it as far as they can. Like Josh Allen, I think threw it like 77 yards at his pro day in Wyoming. Will and I were working on a video I'm going to upload later. It's like about draft busts. Well, the worst draft day trades. So it's like the worst trades on draft day. And the Ravens, Kyle Bullard, like he threw it like 70 yards from his knees, right? So there's like all these guys with strong arms, and it's not always a tool in their benefit. Like I think Josh Allen had to learn how to dial it back, and usually there's an issue with guys super strong arms can lead to accuracy problems. That was Kyle Buller's issue. Yeah, but just give him the platform to go out there and throw it as far. Like if Allen can do that at his pro day, like maybe he throws it 80 yards at the Pro Bowl, and you know.
And that was just such a fun thing too. Like it was such a, like I would watch that because it's just so enjoyable. Like, and again, like they're doing stuff now which is enjoyable, like the practice things that they do, like the throw, like the accuracy tests, and like there's the moving targets and stuff, and like that's cool. But like it's a very simple like, hey, I'm going to see how far I can throw this football. And I'd be like, ooh, how far can he throw that football? Exactly. It's a very simplistic, stupid. Like simple-minded thing that I'm like, yes, I want to watch that.
I want to see it, and I want to see it bad.
Well,
Jamarcus Russell threw from the knee, Kyle Buller, like...
Because they say, like, if you can't throw more than, like, 54 miles an hour, which, again, is very fast, like, you're likely not going to have that sustainability in the NFL. But, I mean, like, even Kaepernick threw freaking hard. He was throwing bullets, too. So there's a bunch of guys who just like, I think Mahomes is up there too. Like he can rocket it. I found a list of literally like ever since like 2018 or something, like what the combine was. But
there's some arm talent out there. You got Mahomes, you got Herbert, you got Rodgers, Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Like hell, even, I mean, Russell Wilson throws like one of the best deep balls in the game, but like, I don't know if he has what people call the strongest arm.
Yeah, I agree.
But and that speed, like that's used for like in the NFL, it's the tight window throws. It's
correct
when coverages are coming in and you just there it is. Then you got like the respect you have now, though, for the guys who
Oh,
actually can catch the
it's
ball.
insane. It's insane. Like, again, I'm a stationary target. And again, I didn't have pads on. So like I literally was like moving away from the ball because I'm like, if this goes through my hands and hits me in the chest, like this is going to be an issue. Right. But yeah, it like it's gonna, it was a little, it provides some perspective of like, holy crap. Like, and this is, Kurt throwing a ball to me. Yeah. Like, I can't imagine like those tight windows. You have coverage all over you, and you have to like try and get it. It's tough. So,
Very.
Yep.
All right, we can do it.
Well, Rodgers throws 57. Oh, well then Kurt might throw harder than him.
Wow.
Kurt might throw harder. I mean, Kurt also didn't throw any interceptions when we were practicing. Just warming up.
Because you didn't have me there covering you.
So. Yeah, just saying.
My back pedal speed is.
All right, let's talk about, because there's some weird stories. Before we get into the weird stories, let's talk about Derek Carr, because that's stuff that kind of just broke. So Derek Carr getting a big old extension with the Vegas Raiders. So about 20-ish minutes ago, 30 minutes ago, got extended 3 years, $121.5 million. He is now in the QB upper echelon, making $40 million a year. He's going to earn $141.3 million over 4 years, with $100 million coming over the next 3 years. And there's a no trade clause as well. And this kind of makes sense considering they just gave up a bunch and are paying a ton of money for Davante Adams. Like, they probably think like that's the real deal and saying, hey, let's keep this connection and let's see if we could, can replicate the Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow connection, because you saw how well that worked out too. So true.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird because I like Derek Carr. I think he's an underrated quarterback. I'm also happy the Raiders haven't figured out a way to upgrade their quarterback.
I think I really am curious to see with that duo of like Adams and Carr, like how much production they're able to put up, because the Raiders are putting a lot of eggs in that basket and saying like, yeah, I mean, because Davante Adams is going to be, I think, a good wide receiver, regardless of who his QB is going to be. But doing those off-season workouts with Carr that he's been doing for years, he has that relationship with him. He's his old QB. I think there's
Carr's
a good shot that they make some good chemistry together.
There's a chance Carr has his best season this year. And it still might be the worst season for a quarterback in the AFC West. That's how stupid it is. He could have a better season than Russell Wilson. And I say that because Russ, new setting, new offense, new coach, new teammates. It might take a while for him and the Broncos to gel. It took Brady a little while to get going with the Buccaneers. I miss you too. Kaylee. So I'm curious. It's a good move for the Raiders. I'm still not sold on Josh McDaniels. I think he'll be better, obviously, but he's got a lot to prove, I think. And I think the Raiders are doing a better job all around now that Gruden's out. And I do wish they would have kept Rich Bisaccia. I know you're excited for him as your special teams coach.
We have a head coach as a special teams coach. Like, hearing him talk yesterday, I'm like, yes, absolutely. He was dropping buzzwords like we fence, and because that's what the special teams is. He was talking about getting specialty guys. He was talking about how much he loved Pat O'Donnell, the new punter that we brought in, and how he tried to get him 4 years ago when he was on the Raiders. And I think it's just, he said, like, I'm a short, like, Italian angry man. But I was just like, yes. So I loved it. I could see why players loved playing for him. So I'm very happy the Raiders let him go.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't even really consider him, which was stupid. But that's just Mark Davis.
Flambeau. I think it'll kind of all just, it's cyclical. It'll come out in the wash. As salary cap goes up, the money's going to go up, but the proportions will fall back in line. Like, the market will always kind of adjust itself. But I mean, that's the question too. Speaking of market, you look at a guy like Deebo Samuel, right? We've been talking about what he did on Instagram. Well, now it was in the news that he's liking Instagram posts of like that he wants 25 mil a year.
Oof, of course, I would like that post too.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Somebody tweet that Brandon Perna would like 25 mil a year, and I will be liking that shit. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Done. You're just like, I don't know who my boss is, but I would like them to pay me 25 mil a year.
Yeah. NFL head coaches got to get smarter. Kyle Shanahan should not have used Deebo Samuel so effectively this last season before he signed his contract extension. You go to Deebo when he's kind of obscure and you go, hey, man, we like your potential. We want to extend you now. And then you add 3 or 4 years to his deal, pay him. He has one big year there, extend him, and then you let him have. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Sam. $5. We are on our way, buddy.
That's it.
Then you use him to his full potential. So really, this is on Kyle Shanahan. Also, apparently the 49ers will listen to any legit trade offer for Deebo Samuel. So that's also out there. People are like, the Chiefs are going to get him. The Chiefs are going to get Deebo. I don't think.
Oh God, no.
They already made a couple signings, and Tyreek Hill kind of got out of their price range, so I don't think they're going to pay Deebo Samuel more than they were going to offer Tyreek Hill.
No. Well, I mean, again, Deebo had his best year. He had over 1,400 yards. I think I'm curious if you have guys like Mostert not go down, like in their run game was where they wanted to be from the beginning of the season, is Deebo as efficient? I still think he's going to be very good and put up like really good stats, but like he's rushing for over 300 yards. I don't know if they're having that if they find like that early success. And again, they still, when they find like Elijah Mitchell and stuff like that, they were doing it very well. You know, the 49ers, I think why they're going to be a really good team still this year is because now you're going to have multiple guys who can get the ball. There's so many pre-snap reads, etc. They could just run it with everybody. And if Trey Lance is the guy and he could use his mobility, you're just like, who is going to be running the football? There's a lot of speed that's there.
Yeah, it's look, I think the 49ers would be stupid to let him go.
I'd be happy.
I think they will work on a deal. I think he's just trying to max his value. Why it's probably the highest it's ever going to be.
Sure, absolutely.
And to the points you just made, like even if he comes back and is like, all right, I'm going to play for the contract again this season, the distribution just might be different in San Francisco. So his season was so good and they could continue to use him that way. One, you worry a little bit if you're going to use him at running back so much, like what's his longevity? You're putting him a little more, his body at risk, those sort of things. But he can still be just as effective. But yeah, it's an insane season. So he's trying to max out. Thank you. There was like 15 people tweeting, I want 25 million. So I just liked all of that shit.
Listen, apparently the Commanders, they're hiring social media people now. So why not Brandon Perna? Why not Brandon
influencers Perna? To be their social media correspondent,
like liaison?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I know the Broncos, they would be like, we will give you this title and we will pay you nothing. And I'd be like, okay, never mind.
The Packers also, would be like, no,
we don't really enjoy you, to be honest.
Well, because Scooter was tweeting at the Cowboys, and like I could see them doing that. Like, because Rappaport tweeted that out, you can see more teams doing it. Yeah, especially, let me put it this way, especially the bad teams, because like the Commanders, like they need that press, like they need that publicity, because we're going to talk about it, because everything that else is coming out inside the organization is a dumpster fire, which is why I'm not upset, but I mean, you had Wildflower right there. Like you did. You had Wildflower right there, and could have sold some tickets. So I'm
rough day for Wildflower, really.
Wildflower fans are down right now. They're down. So yeah, gotta get an office at Packers HQ. Maybe I won't. But no. They tolerate me. That's how that goes. But all right, should we get into the Commanders, Brandon Perna, with that transition?
We should let's get inside of the Commanders.
Yeah.
It's done. There's no way Dan Snyder can survive this. It's over.
Like okay. So I want to kind of just give you, it's not even like devil's advocate. It's more,
Chris, I can and I will, Chris.
No, Chris, don't ask him. Chris, don't ask, the Star Wars, like, when the title screen is coming down and it's all the words, that's what Brandon Perna is going to do to you right now. He's going to have that going on. But I was talking to someone in the Packers organization, and the point that he brought up is, he goes, I don't even know how this is possible, considering how many times, like, the NFL audits all of this stuff. And the thing is, like, it's alleged that Dan Snyder did this for 10 years. For 10 years. Yeah, keeping 2 different books.
Oh, and like, here you go, NFL. Here's our totally real tax accounting books, and this is the fake one with all the dirty info in it.
But, like, okay, if you're the auditor for the NFL, how, like, incompetent are you at your job? And be like, yeah, this looks right. Because, like, it's 10 years, and that's a lot of money that's being alleged that he's siphoning off. And again, this is something that, out of all the terrible things that Dan Snyder has done, and he has done a laundry list of terrible things, this is the one that I can point to and be like, oh, the NFL actually might force him to sell the team here, because it's screwing over NFL owners. And I think that he should have been gone for, I don't know, lists exhibit A through F. But dude, like, that's the thing, like, he could go to jail. There's legit, legality issues that are afoot.
It would be so funny if Dan Snyder was in jail.
I mean, my God, it'd be great.
Here's what
I mean, he's rich, so probably not, but
look, he's got the money to keep himself out of jail for about 3,000 years. And then
after that,
depending on the life expectancy and whatever, he could be in trouble. It's just, I think what bothers people about this shit is, like, it's never enough. There's never enough profit for already super, 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 super rich people like Dan
billionaires,
Snyder, right? Like, what he was doing, in case you don't know, besides all the other crap that got him in trouble before, we talked about, like, they weren't reporting all of their ticket sales for their home games. So they weren't sharing the full amount of ticket sales with the NFL, because part of that goes to the visiting team. What they were doing was FedEx Field was holding other events. So they were shifting some of those ticket sales to those other events. So, like, if they had a concert there, I don't know what they do there, some sort of...
why are you going to a concert at FedEx Field, by the way?
I don't know.
Like,
you're going to die when the stadium falls down on you? Like,
you're going to get tetanus walking into that place.
Yeah. They're like, let's take 1% of the football game ticket sales and let's just funnel that into the event sales where we can keep 100% of that.
Yep.
Whoa.
I've heard that story. He literally cut down, like, national park land so he could have a nicer view from his house. Like, that's a legit story. Like, that is 100% true.
That. Trees grow back really fast.
Wildflower wants to know your location.
Yeah. So that's one of those crimes where, like, I personally don't care, because he's just taking money from the NFL, which already generates a lot of money, but he's screwing other teams, smaller teams who really need that little bit of revenue. Like, that affects teams like the Jaguars, like even like the Chargers, the Rams, even though they won a Super Bowl, that you can't really put them in that class anymore. But those teams weren't generating a ton of money like these other ones. So that's the one part of it, right? Is stealing from the NFL. The part that is really despicable is he had his executives or whatever put in roadblocks for fans trying to get their season ticket deposits back. So he made it nearly impossible for fans who paid their deposits for season tickets and then decided they didn't want them for whatever reason to get that deposit money back. So he's
Correct.
literally just stealing money from the people who support his team the most.
Correct.
It's the biggest FU. Like,
yes.
As a football team owner, I don't care about the people who show up here to watch our dirt ass team play every week. Like, we can't put a good product on the field. No offense, Washington football team players. I got respect for you guys, but it's been a bad product, and he is.
But that's the point, right? And there is a pattern of this that it really is screw you to the fans. Like there was that thing too of like putting in traffic laws, like getting those passed so people couldn't cross the road, so they had to park in the stadium and give them more money than park in satellite lots. There's a laundry list of things. And again, this is not even talking about like the cheerleader incidents. Like this is not talking about like some of the really, really bad stuff. This is the stuff saying, hey, if you're a Washington Commanders, still sounds weird to say, if you're a Commanders fan and you're going to a stadium which is not kept up with, you literally can have poop water leaking on you. The place is falling apart. It's not a good stadium. And like, you're not even enhancing like the fan experience. Like there are people whose job in these organizations is fan experiences. Like that's their whole job, is to make it better. The Packers just did a stock sale where the video boards and the concourse are going to get upgraded to make it a nicer experience for fans to go on game day and off days. But like Washington, it literally is like, let's siphon as much money out of this as humanly possible. We don't care about the product being put on the field. We don't care about the field itself. Like you at least have other owners who are terrible people and like are crappy. At least they're like upkeeping their stadium. You know what I mean? Like at least they're not trying to completely screw over their fans. They might do it with like pricing and stuff like that, but it's wild to me just how much they are so indifferent to their own fans to the point where they're literally screwing them over.
Yeah, and to answer Paul's question here, I do think Dan Snyder is different than a lot of the other NFL owners. I think there are owners who don't really care about the fans, but let's say one of the richest, Jerry Jones. Also, you could probably argue, maybe Jerry Jones has done some shady stuff. But Jerry Jones cares about his football fans. He cares about people going to that game and having a good experience. So, like, Jones has always put money into the team. Like I said, you can criticize him for a lot of things, but he cares about that product. Dan Snyder doesn't. I don't think Shad Khan cares about the product in Jacksonville. I don't think Cal McNair cares about the product in Houston. So, I think there are different levels. Like the good owners, it's not just a revenue source for them. Like having a good football team is a way of life. Like they believe in trying to put out a winning product and all of that. Their ego is fueled by them winning, by fans liking the team and showing up to do it. So I think there are different levels. Snyder's probably just on a level of a-hole all by himself, of where he really just does not care. He is, in my mind, the clear-cut worst owner, not just in the National Football League, but maybe top 5 of any league anywhere. Like that's how bad Dan Snyder is.
I mean, because like you look at diving into like other fan bases and stuff, like when we do like the reaction videos or whatever, like I look at like the Jacksonville Jaguars, and that fan base is, I love this team so much. And they just hurt me because of stupid personnel decisions. Like they're making choices that are just not great for the team. And, they're trying to turn it around and all that great stuff. And that's good. There's that. And then talking to so many Washington fans, and they're just like, I don't even know what to do. Like, we know the team isn't good. And on top of that, the owner actively like makes us not want to root for them. Like the stadium is not, by the way, the stadium's not easy to get to. Like, it's not like a hop, skip, and a jump and you can get there. Like everything, instead of being a convenience, is inconveniencing fans to support the team, whether it's physically, whether it's even like on TV. And there's just a complete indifference from ownership. And it just seems that there's no bottom, right? Like if this was about any other owner, right, you'd be like, oh wow, like that's crazy. Dan Snyder, like it's another day in the park. Like it's like, oh, okay, yeah, it makes sense. Dan Snyder has done all these god awful things. Of course, it's him.
Yeah, everybody's like, yeah, we know. That's a really good point. If, oh man, yeah, like the Buffalo Bills team owner, we'd be like, oh my God, they were doing this to Bills fans, loyal Bills fans. No, it's messed up. And
if you know it's bad when your fan base is like, God, the biggest thing that I'm rooting for right now is Dan Snyder being forced to sell the team. Like that speaks volumes.
Yeah, it's it's why as a Broncos fan, I'm not really jazzed about the possibility of Rob Walton of the Walmart fortune purchasing the Denver Broncos. Like,
why not?
I don't know a lot about him. He would be by far the richest owner in the NFL, right? 70 billion is his net worth, 77 billion, something like that.
That's
unfathomable,
like the amount of money that is.
It's like 4 times richer than anybody else in the NFL. You would hope that would equate to money never being an issue for your team. If he ran any other company besides Walmart, I might agree with that.
Yeah.
I might agree with that because Walmart all about that bottom line. There's been a long history of Walmart not paying its employees well, treating its employees well. So why would I make the leap to believe this guy's going to come in and run my football team with a different level of integrity? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's my fear there. I don't want somebody who is like Dan Snyder and it's only about money. I want the type of guy who's like, I'm willing to lose money if we win a Super Bowl. I'm going to put my money into this team and do whatever it takes to make them good. And he could do that because he has the cash and the capital to do it. But
that's the thing too. Is it, I want a return on investment at ASAP, right? I got this. So we're jacking up prices. Like I just spent $4 billion on this team. I want to start bringing in revenue. So I'm going to be able to see a return on that sooner rather than later.
No, you can't. That's not why you buy. Like their value increases over time.
Correct.
But you don't want people buying it for an investment. You want people buying it because they want to win championships. And again, it's like what part of their ego are they trying to fuel when they own a sports team?
Sure.
Is it the winner to be better? Or is it, hey, if I hold on to this team for 20 years, I can sell it for, billions.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. If Dan Snyder sold today, like he would make a ton of money.
Yeah.
Like he still wins here too. Like if he's forced to sell, he's still going to make billions of dollars from the sale of the Washington Commanders, which is again, like that's just like, it makes you so cynical and just be like, wow. So the worst thing that could happen to him, because he's probably not going to jail, is that he'd be forced to make billions of dollars. Oh man. What a shame. What a shame. But like, I really hope that if he is forced to sell, that like there's someone who buys it that actually like, goes into giving a crap about the people that support. Like it just feels so grimy. It's like those are like you said, like those are the people who are still showing up to those games, and there's not a lot, but they're still showing up to those games. Yeah, and you're slapping them in the face and taking their money.
Ben, get the hell out of here. Don't you dare. Don't you dare, Ben.
He's like, guys, we're moving. What's his stance on marijuana? Imagine he's just like, you know what, guys? I don't want anybody smoking the reefer. We're going to Iowa.
Yeah. If he came in and said, hey, I'm going to buy you guys, I'm going to pay for a new stadium myself, I think he could win over fans.
Oh, you're funny. You're funny. You think that anyone would do that?
But
he would never be like, oh yeah, it'll come all out of my pocket. Look at the Bills.
If he did, he could win over fans.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, guess what? People hate on the Packers for doing the stock sale. You're getting a meaningless piece of paper. But guess what? Like, you're not getting those taxes forced on you. You got sales tax and all that great stuff, but you ain't getting the taxes. So
Rob was born one day before me. Had he been born on my birthday, I would get behind this. But
$69.4 billion. So he was a baby and got 2.4 million is basically that is wild.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Okay. All right. But I do want to ask, like, do you think that this finally gets him out? Because like we've been saying this now for years. Like, do you think that this is finally the death blow?
Yeah, I mean, you've got it's a congressional investigation. You got Congress leaking all this stuff. No, Kaylee. No. No.
It's like, no, you can't smoke the plant.
They could just move over to Utah. That would be rough.
Oh.
Oof. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Dan Snyder. I think this
he's
is
finally done now.
Like the league's not going to tolerate an owner taking money from him. It's that simple. Like you took money from the league. It's the one thing we can actually say you shouldn't be part of this club anymore. And I also think that Dan Snyder hasn't been an issue for him because I think he's got too much dirt on too many other NFL owners. I think there's a legit fear if he is ousted, more guys are going to have things come out about them.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree at all.
Buy Dan's silence. I think that's possible, but
when you're all doing shady crap together, like it's all right, we're all in this together, and like, oh, now though, yeah. I think so. Again, there's so much stuff that I can't imagine the stuff that actually goes on in the NFL. I cannot imagine, and just from like the snippets that either we get or you talk to people like within organizations or within the NFL, and it's wild, like how much under the surface stuff that there is. But yeah, that be the game. But that's what you're saying though, in terms of if they piss off Dan Snyder and they make him sell a team, he's like, okay, well, you were worried about the 2 financial books that I was keeping. Oh, well, I got a whole bunch of other books. And yeah.
I mean, like, you don't do shady things without having shady info on others. You got to be able to play all your cards. Yep. Really, I think, as long as Dan Snyder doesn't protest the national anthem, he has a chance to stay in the NFL.
Sure. I mean, Bezos buying it, I mean, I think that would be an upgrade just because then maybe your stadium could also go into space.
Oh, welcome to the biggest
home field advantage,
stadium advantage on earth. Literally, other teams have to take a rocket ship to play the Broncos on the moon. The Denver Moonballs.
Can you imagine if the stadium just like lifts off like 15 minutes before the game is about to kick off and you like forgot something in your car and you go back and the stadium's not there anymore? Like that would suck. But they could.
Where'd it go? Yeah.
Yep. Patriots. Yep. Okay. I mean, we've talked about his secret kid before.
Oh, Jerry's secret kid?
Yeah, his 25-year-old secret kid.
Yeah. It's not so secret anymore.
Yeah.
Secret are no fun. Secret hurt someone. The Office.
I heard secrets are for everyone.
Yeah. Denver Spaceballs. I like that.
Denver Spaceballs. Yes.
Got to comb the desert, baby. Okay. I put Tom Brady in the title.
Let's talk about Tom Brady.
Oh, Perna just gonna crap on Tom Brady. I gotta tie the two stories together, first of all. All right?
Yep.
Okay. If I can't have fun with some titles here, why are we even doing YouTube? Okay. Why are we talking about football? Second of all,
Spin it.
It's not that far from the truth. It is not that far from the truth. The more we learn about Tom Brady and what he tried to allegedly do, he's not on the same level as Dan Snyder. All right. He's not. But when Tom Brady looks at the rules, he's like, how can I get around this? So now what we know which has been reported, allegedly, Tom Brady was going to fake retire from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and then join the Miami Dolphins as an executive and then hire Sean Payton as their head coach and then name himself as quarterback. And I think the loophole there is if he took another job in the NFL, so as an executive, he wouldn't have to give the Bucs the first right of refusal or still be under their contract because he had a year left with Tampa Bay. And he thought this might be his way to get out. And we also know Stephen Ross wanted Tom Brady the first time around because he tried to get a secret meeting with Tom Brady and Brian Flores on a yacht, which originally, when we heard that story, we thought Stephen Ross was trying to get Brian Flores to meet with Deshaun Watson on a secret meeting because like that was kind of the story at the time. But no, it was Tom Brady because it was outside of the tampering period. So this seemed like a weird thing. And the more days that pass, the more people are like, wait, this is pretty messed up if that were true. And that's why we wanted to put it in today's story. I talked about Dan Snyder and Tom Brady in videos over the last week talking about these things. And I thought they were kind of done and they would fade away. But no. A little more steam every time around. And my point with Tom Brady is he's just never happy. He's never satisfied. He goes to Tampa. He wins a Super Bowl. Then they don't win a Super Bowl. And he's like, maybe Bruce Arians isn't the best fit with me. I want out of here. And now he went back to Tampa and Bruce stepped back. Like all of the weird things that don't make sense are kind of making a little more sense. And if none of this is true, credit to whoever came up with all of this because I couldn't imagine it. Anyway, your thoughts, Tom?
If this is true, that Tom Brady was going to do all of this just to go back to the AFC East, be an exec, and then be like, who's our starting quarterback? And just like rip off his office clothes and be like, it's me. I honestly, and this is completely honest, would be so impressed. I would do nothing but applaud it because at that point, it is so outrageously funny and over the top. It would be absolutely hysterical.
Yeah.
Like, and it would be the most Game of Thrones, like political drama of like, this is how I became a starting QB. Oh, and hey, Bill, you're going to see me 2 times a year again.
Yeah, so this story was reported by Ben Volin, who works in Boston. And then Pro Football Focus or Talk picked it up. And then I think Dan Lebitard was talking about it. And now, like, if you want to get into the conspiracy of it, Bill Belichick, people are like, oh, maybe his text to Brian Flores was not an accident because he got wind that the Dolphins and Tom were in cahoots. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to blow this whole thing up. So, and the reason it didn't happen was because the day Tom Brady announced he was going to retire was the same day Brian Flores announced his lawsuit. And so it made it basically impossible for Tom to go back to the Dolphins. And the reason Brian Flores dropped the lawsuit that day is because he knew what Stephen Ross and Tom Brady were trying to do. But there are like 3 puzzling things there. Tom Brady's retirement was weird. Sean Payton's retirement was kind of strange. And then Tom Brady coming back to the Bucs and Bruce Arians taking a front office. Like all of that's kind of weird.
But my question is, wait, I'm sorry. Is it implied that Peyton knew about this, or this was just like the plan that they were going to entice Peyton out of retirement?
Maybe they were going to entice him out. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Because like,
but maybe Sean Payton did know because Sean Payton and the Saints were interested in Tom Brady when he was a free agent, even though they still had Drew Brees. I think they were hoping Brees was going to retire so they could actually pursue Tom Brady. Because they're like, Drew, we see your body is falling apart. You might not yet, but.
Now, if this is all true, then technically,
Yes,
The
Alex.
Giants, in hiring Brian Dable instead of Flores and having that like mock interview, screwed Tom Brady again.
Yes. They stopped him from winning.
Well done.
Another
Well
Super
done,
Bowl.
Giants. Well done.
But if you're a Tom Brady fan, this is why you like this, okay? This is so you can't just be like, oh, Perna's a hater. Oh, he just blah, 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 blah. When people start talking mad crap about Tom Brady, when he's linked to crimes, conspiracies, cheating, what does he do? He wins Super Bowls. So the more people start talking about Brady, the more they say, look at what this shady SOB did, the more the chances of him winning another Super Bowl get exponentially greater with every word of smack and trash that's talked about him. So if you're a Brady fan, you want people to run with this story. You want this entire offseason to snowball. So by the time week 1 comes around, Brady is hated again because he won over the haters in Tampa. He needs the haters for him to actually win another Super Bowl. And yes, that is why he's a Sith Lord, Zach.
He would also die behind that offensive line, though. Like, he would be dead. Like, you saw what happened to the Dolphins. Like, he would die. But they were just like...
They've upgraded it. They got Terran Armstead. And,
yes, but I'm saying beforehand, because it's before they got Armstead and any of that stuff. Yeah. But, oh my God, can you imagine now with Tyreek Hill, Waddle? Oh my God.
Yeah. But, like, if Sean Payton were the guy they wanted, it didn't work out. They land Mike McDaniel. So I think he's an offensive coach that Tom might actually want to work with. And now everybody's like, Brady's going to go to Miami after this season. He's just going to go there. It's like almost talking about like it's a foregone conclusion. I don't know. Let's see if he can make it through. Like, the thing is, he's got to make it through another NFL season. And I know he's never shown any signs of wear and tear, but the football season's long. Injuries are weird. Like, let's see if he gets through there. Tua, it would be the time to move on from him if he's not the guy after this season. So that part would make sense. But it's just, I hope it's all true because it's freaking crazy. It's freaking crazy.
That's what I'm saying. I couldn't even be mad because I couldn't write that. And if of all the people to do that, that would be a very Tom Brady-esque thing. And then there's another documentary that's made of like how I went to be an NFL exec and then made myself the QB of my team.
Yeah, it's like a bad football movie.
Yeah, it is. It's 100% like a bad Disney Plus movie where we don't have a starting QB. Well, how about now? Yeah.
I mean, the NFL can't even do like the Kurt Warner story or they can't even make that good. So yeah, they would definitely botch this. This is like a writer in his freaking basement. Like, ooh, what if?
God, can you imagine just the Stockholm syndrome of Dolphins fans if Tom Brady became like, just imagine like the headlines and the way that it would be. Tom Brady retires, right? Everybody cheers. Tom Brady unretires and becomes an executive of the Dolphins. Fans' heads would explode and be like, what? Like that guy? And that would swirl around for a little bit and explode. And then he names himself the starting QB. I would just want to see the pure chaos that would reign from just the progression of the news. It would be amazing. All the craziness of the offseason, nothing would top that. Nothing. Because that would be the most insane story ever.
Yeah. I did a bit about it in the episode on Monday where I was like, okay, so and then Sean Payton, who would be Tom Brady's boss.
Yep.
And then Tom Brady, the executive, who would be Sean Payton's boss. And then Tom Brady, the minority owner, who would be Tom Brady's boss. And it's just like, that would be some bizarre meetings and conversations where like Tom doesn't get along with Sean. So then Tom, the executive, has a conversation with Sean, the head coach. And then Tom meet about Tom Brady's performance as a quarterback. And they're like, Tom's doing a great job. I thought it was really
It's like
good.
Jim and Dwight. Dwight's his own assistant to the regional manager.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that level of stupid.
Tom just sits down in front of a mirror. He's just like, listen, that was a really bad throw that you made. And he was just like, listen, maybe if I had better leadership and better guidance, I could do better. Just
Yeah.
He would also be the person to do that too. Like he would.
Yeah. And that's how it ended the bit, was Tom Brady in front of a mirror, but he was naked and masturbating. So
I'm thinking about this more and more as I talk about this. Like 1,000,000%. Just going down that rabbit hole.
yeah.
That would be incredible. But like if he was an exec, I would also love if he was like made like the lowest of the low. Like he was there for like game day experience. The first thing he does is just delete all the footage of Miami like having the miracle play against him and beating the Patriots from years ago. That would be the first thing that he would do. It's like, nope, we're wiping that from the records.
It would be really fun, though, to watch one season of Brady in the AFC East going against the Pats twice. Hopefully the Bills still dominate him, and then maybe even loses to the Jets or something. Old Zachy Wilson. Yeah. But see, Chris? I'm a reasonable man, Chris.
But that, you know what, though? It'd be better if it happened like 3 games into the season. Like he's an exec, and then Tua's just struggling, and then he goes, sit down, Tua. And then he just comes off the sideline. He just takes off his tie. He's got full pads underneath and everything. He's like, let's go.
Yeah, it's like that bulky Tom Brady's walking in with this suit. He's just like, I'm bringing like, Tom, back the big suits. Like the early,
like, you have pads 2000s. On, Tom. Like it's evident that you have pads on. He's like, no, not. He's like, you're on the roster right now, not
Brady
me.
Brand suits. Brady brand. Okay, Tom, we know what you're doing.
We know exactly what you're doing. No, you don't. Yeah, you had to be reported as eligible. Like you're on the roster as QB2. No.
He's like, give me one of those giant jackets the guys wear on the sidelines. Like, we're in Miami. It's 90 degrees with 200% humidity, and you want a jacket for the cold? Yep.
I do. Mm-hmm. I do. It's not colder here than it was in Tampa.
Tom Brady
he just rips it off. Were you guys all surprised? No, we weren't.
You were literally practicing with us all week. Kept saying you just wanted to relive the glory days. Okay,
I now want this to be a thing where when Tom Brady finally retires from the NFL, he goes to be an exec somewhere, and then he just is like, yeah, no, I'm going to go and be
quarterback.
I'm going to go and be a QB. I'm just going to make myself the starting QB. Tom, you can't do that. Or can I? Shows his security badge. Yes.
That's the Tom Brady.
He's wearing a helmet in the meetings. Tom, what are you doing? Just being a normal guy. What do you mean? Yep. Just drinking out of his coffee and it's splashing all over him. Like, I love all of this. I love all of this so much.
That's like, you said he's wearing the helmet in the meeting.
Yep.
Damn it, come on. Stupid ass Google.
I think it's just beautiful. I think it's perfect. And it would make me love Tom Brady significantly. Because it's just so outrageous that I would love it.
It'd make me tolerate him. It's like this photo of Peyton Manning.
Yes.
Getting his ankle treatment with his helmet on and looking at his iPad playbook.
Yep.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's the level of crazy you have to be really good in the NFL.
The first thing that Tom Brady does as an exec is make Julian Edelman his assistant. And Gronk is his secretary. They're like, no, they're not playing football with me. They're just doing the day-to-day stuff with me.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm behind this all the way. I'm behind this all the way. All right. We did it, Perna. We did it.
We had fun. Today
I don't know
was
what
fun.
we did, but it worked out so well. Perna, explain. You got videos coming out today?
Yes. I got a big worst draft day trades ever. Should be uploading that pretty soon here. So please come back and watch that. Will and I spent a lot of time on this one. And then I'll probably bang out a news episode either today or tomorrow. And then I'll be done for the week.
All right. So,
Tom? What?
I'm looking to do a Packers 3-round mock draft today.
Wow.
Yeah, I do that. Looking to do that. So, Elway, yeah, there was a couple times I thought he would.
Yeah, Elway can barely walk though. Like his knees are bad, his hands are bad, his hips bad. No chance.
Tom's like this. I think we really should implement this wheel route. Tom, it's Saturday. What are you doing? I'm just saying we should do this wheel route. I'm just saying. I also might make this video because it's getting better and better in my head.
There you go.
This is what's going to pull the channel out of the lull that it's in right now. This is what's going to do it. And 3 people are going to watch it.
The draft's going to pull it back out for a week and a half. And then we're going to be in no man's land till August.
Correct. That is correct. But then maybe we could like relax.
Yeah. It's hard.
And then I go to Colorado in July to go see Rainbow Kitten Surprise.
Yeah. They dropped a new single recently.
Yes, I know they did. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It came out on Friday. Yes. I was thinking about texting you. I was like, did you hear this new song? You hear the new one?
I did listen to it. I did.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was good. That was good. That was solid.
Yeah, I liked it too.
All right. We did it. But folks, thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS. And you have been navigated.
And you've reached your destination, which is